Hey everybody, welcome back to Why Not RV. On this week's episode, we're gonna go ahead and change out the brand new water pump that came with my Montana for the Remco AquaJet variable speed pump. Remember, if you want to learn more and make less mistakes while RVing, be sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a like and a comment down below. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Let me start by telling you guys why I'm immediately upgrading to a brand new water pump, even though the water pump that came in my RV is brand new. And it's pretty good. It's pretty quiet. It's not bad. But one thing about standard RV water pumps is they're a pressure set pump. So it means that it builds pressure, and then as it's being used, it drops pressure, and then it builds pressure, drops pressure, builds pressure, drops pressure. So that's where you get a lot of that on, off, on, off, on, off when you're boondocking and you're taking a shower or you're running a sink or whatever the case is. And, you know, if you're taking a shower, oftentimes that pumping motion, that on, off, can cause bursts of hot or bursts of cold water on you. And it's really not that comfortable. So, and the other thing for me was, you know, if I do this right now, right off the get-go with a brand new pump, I'm gonna keep my old pump on board as a backup just in case this new variable speed pump ever goes bad, because God forbid you're somewhere and your water pump goes out, it is always a good thing to have a spare. So the variable speed pump, which is the best thing about it, is it builds a pressure and then it holds that pressure. So you can say turn on your kitchen sink and it just will ramp up to that speed that it needs and stay running constantly. Then someone can go in the bathroom and turn on the shower or a sink in there, and it will not lose pressure in the sink and the kitchen. It'll just make up for the pressure that's needed for that secondary or for that second faucet or whatever you have. So the pump just it's variable speed, right? It increases and decreases its pressure or speed based on the needs in the RV. So it's a really amazing pump and I can't wait to be using it. But let's get right into the install. It's a pretty simple swap out. It's 2 wires and 4 screws, and then 2 little screw-on PEX fittings. First thing you're going to want to do is, of course, make sure you turn your water off. Make sure the water pump is not on, not turned on. And you go ahead and open up your low point drains so that you can drain the majority of the water out of the system, just in case you want to minimize water as you go to take out the old pump. Look at the size difference of this thing. It's really not that much larger of a footprint. You know, it's an extra inch back here, another inch on the side, but it just looks so much beefier. And it does move 5.3 gallons per minute, whereas the stock one can only move 3 gallons per minute. And again, that's 5.3 gallons per minute at maximum flow. When you have all the faucets open, it will pump 5.3 gallons. But if you're just taking a shower and you have it down low, it's just going to vary down to that speed that you need. So it's really awesome. But again, it's just 2 wires, a positive and negative. You have your old pump. Right here is my negative. The positive runs up under. We'll get to it. Got some wires in the way, but it's really a pretty simple thing. And again, we have just these little fittings that are just going to come right off. I'm going to grab a towel just in case there's any water left in these lines, and let's do it. And some of you might have noticed I have these little Govee water sensors. I got a couple of them right next to the pump, or there's one right under the pump, and I have one that sits right underneath my the backside of my wet bay wall for in case any of these fittings start leaking. So I have both of those sitting there. Let's go ahead and get this undone. Set a towel underneath of it because I'm sure there's gonna be some water coming out here. That's one side. So what happened there just now was I took off the side that comes from the tank, and water just kept on coming. So I decided to stop and put it back on for a second, and I realized that it was, of course, kind of had built a siphon going from to the tank, and I have the tank completely full right now. So it was probably gonna pull a couple gallons out of the top until it started to suck air. So what I did was I just turned it to winterize, because this line goes up to where it also pulls in from the winterized side, and because obviously the water pump will pull in when you're winterizing. And so that there's obviously nothing on that side. So it stopped, there's no water coming out. So I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect our pump right here, unscrew it, get it out of the way. Now with our old pump out, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the strainer as well because I'm gonna reuse that. All right, now I need to just go ahead and get this area cleaned up and dried up before moving forward. And with all that pretty well set, I'm gonna go ahead and take the new fittings for the new pump and get them installed. These literally just go in and then clicks down in place. That's it, it's locked in. So again, this thing gets slid forward. The side with the O-ring goes in and then it gets slid back. That's it, it's locked in. What I wanted to debate was if I could get this somehow a little bit less in the way, but I don't think I can. Maybe just backing it up against this, perhaps a water softener, and I want to put it right here, but we'll just have to see. I can't really get this much more out of the way than it already is, just because these come down. So the nice thing about these types of fittings is I can just go ahead and take this off of the pump and get it onto my threaded portion first, and then I can just slide it in the pump and lock it in place, and that's a lot easier than the pump being in my way while I'm trying to do this. Oops. Helps if you don't forget your O-ring, because now I just tightened it too much. All right, I feel pretty well accomplished for where I have it, so I'm going to go ahead and just mount it right back down in. All right, with our 4 screws in, this thing's pretty well secure. Now we just need to go ahead and get our positive and negative hooked back up. I'm going to go ahead and cut these shorter. I'm actually going to put a spade bit on just like this one was, so I can do a quick connect. I'm actually going to do it on both ends so that I can, like I said, if I need to swap this out in the future, I don't need to be cutting a bunch of stuff. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and chop my negative back, strip it. I'm going to put this male spade bit on the end of it. I'm going to do the same thing for my positive side. Okay, now those are nice and secure and tight. We're going to go ahead and put our female sides on here on the pump itself. Okay, and I can take my positive and I can plug it right in. Bam. Look at our negative. Now that's all done. I'm going to go ahead and turn the water pump on and make sure that it's I'm not going to go walk around and show you guys all the different faucets and stuff, but you know, super easy. As you can see, 2 wires, 4 screws, and 2 little fittings to connect to it. Extremely simple, a little bit messy, you know, but that was my own fault. So just be careful whenever you're doing this kind of project. Otherwise, super simple, and it increases your boondocking experience exponentially. I'll do a more of a follow-up and review of this product after I've been using it here for the next couple weeks. But right now, this is just a quick install. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for watching Why Not RV. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like, drop a comment. We'll see you next time. Bye.